Wardrobe for the Bass Tour Anglers podcast is provided by Koppel Outfitters. Go have an adventure. Visit them online at www.koppeloutfitters.com and on social media at Koppel Outfitters. Are you looking for a bass rod that won't break your bank? Introducing the XT series from Top Tier Tackle. Proprietary carbon nano blank, grade A full cork handle and foregrip, top performance stainless steel, tangle-free guides, lightweight and durable, and a 1-year limited warranty. Visit their website at www.t3rods.com.
Young man, take a look at me now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Winner's Circle segment. Our guest today has earned over $500,000 fishing tournaments, many of those as a co-angler. He is a rookie in the BASS Elite Series, having qualified by winning the BASS Open Series Angler of the Year title in 2020. He's currently Bassmaster Classic qualifier and will fish that event this coming June. He's also the winner of the St. John's BASS Elite Series event, his first ever BASS Elite Series event. Welcome to the show, Brian New. Thanks for being with us today. You look like you're on the road somewhere.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm doing some last minute errands before I head out to go to Tennessee in the morning. Just trying to get some stuff done. It's been a busy week.
I bet it is. I'm sensitive to these things, but when you win an Elite Series event, people like me start lining up to try to get a piece of your time.
Yeah. It's been hectic, but I'm very fortunate, to be in the situation I am, and I'm very thankful to for you and everyone else that's reached out to have me on, and hopefully I can keep this up.
Okay, so first, your first BASS Open event on Lake Kissimmee, you won that.
Yeah.
First BASS Elite Series event on the St. John's, won that. First Bassmaster Classic in June. Are we thinking, trifecta?
That's the goal. I like that time of year. I feel like I'm going to like the type of fishing that's going to be going on. I've never been there. I did go pre-practice while I was in Texas for the Louisville Open last fall. And, that was before the event got rescheduled. So that was probably a waste. I didn't fish any, but, it's Texas. It's, there's a lot of giants on that place. So I'm really looking forward to that. It wouldn't matter if we were fishing the Atlantic Ocean. It's the Bassmaster Classic, man.
That's for sure.
I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
That's for sure. I love your enthusiasm. Hey, I've been digging through the records, trying to see if anyone has ever won the first BASS Elite Series event that they fished. I don't think anybody has. What did the Bass folks tell you? Did they say anything that you would? Are you the first one to win in the first event?
So Derek Rimmets won his first event, and I think that was several years ago. I believe I was still in high school when that took place. I graduated 2008. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but it's been a while.
I do remember that name now that you mention it. Tired of the same old, same old? Check out the new Affinity Rod Series from Top Tier Tackle. Soft touch EVA split grip, custom 30-ton nano blank, C-grade reel seat, top performance stainless steel, tangle-free guides, ultra lightweight, superior impact and fracture resistant, and a limited 3-year warranty. Visit their website at www.t3rods.com. We're talking to Brian New. He is the winner of the first BASS Elite Series event this year on the St. Johns River. Was your goal in 2020 to make the Elite Series, or did that just kind of evolve as the year went on for you?
No, it absolutely was the goal. I had never I had never fished a bass open, any bass events until last year. And, obviously fortunate enough to win that first one. But the initial goal was to win or to qualify for the elites. And then once and I actually back up a second, I actually only signed up for the Eastern Opens. So after I win that first event, I decided to go ahead and sign up for the Centrals as well. And fortunate that I did, because I don't believe I would have qualified if I wouldn't have fished the Centrals. And, plus I wound up winning, the overall Angler of the Year. So that was pretty cool and a good bonus there. A good year last year. Obviously a great year so far here. Financially, super great year. Like I'm not done for the year, I hope, but financially I'm set for the year.
Yeah, that's an awfully nice way to start. So you won at Kissimmee in 2020. Did that experience, or how much experience do you have in Florida? Did that experience help you at the St. John's?
Last year at Kissimmee, that was the second time that I'd ever been to Kissimmee. This year at the St. John's was the second time I'd ever been to St. John's. But I've been to Harris Chain once, and Okeechobee several times since 2012. Pretty much other than this year, I think I've been to Okeechobee one or two times every year since 2012.
And St. John's is a little different, though. It's got a tidal influence too, doesn't it?
It does. Plus, it's a river. I mean,
right.
River systems are for the most part, river systems are different than a reservoir or a regular impoundment. And rivers and tide have not always been the best for me. The last few years I have done well on tidal rivers. I think it's more of just me evolving and gaining confidence. And I've been around a lot longer now, so I've learned a lot more than I did in years past.
Okay, well let's talk about the tournament. What did you learn in pre-fish? Did you feel like you had a chance to win after pre-fish was over with?
So we had 3 days, and the first 2 days were terrible. The first day I had 2 bites on one offshore spot. The second day I had 2 bites on another offshore spot, and 2 bites flipping in Jacksonville, which is roughly 90 miles from where I fished the tournament, basically. So the last day of practice, the weather was setting up right for the quote perfect storm, which I've never witnessed in Florida until this week or last week. I saved that last day of practice to go down south where I wound up catching them. And it wasn't great. I had one offshore shelf place that I found last year when I was there. And I caught 1 fish there in practice that last day, and, probably 5 or 6 fish, or I shook 5 or 6 fish off fishing pads, just, random stretches. And I did have a feeling that I could have a decent tournament, but to win, obviously there's that chance. Right. But, I wasn't sitting there thinking I'm fixing to win this tournament by any means.
Well, okay. Now, so on day one, you came in with a 12-pound limit, which on a Florida lake, 12 pounds on a Florida lake is kind of on the low side. But the rest of the field kind of struggled. You were in 22nd place after the first day. How did it go? Were you happy with your weight?
Yeah, I wasn't obviously like tickled, but I was happy. I mean, because like 12 pounds typically is not like great in Florida, but most of the time it's good, let alone whenever you have a 3.5 hour fog delay like we did that first day.
Right. That's right.
So, I was in 22nd out of 99 guys. So, it was a pretty decent day. And, just fortunate enough to have those shell bars on the way back in to stop on. And because I only had 3 fish from fishing the pads that first day. So, I left myself just a little bit of time on my way back to stop and hit those shell bars because I knew I had a good chance of filling out a limit. I didn't think there was a good chance of catching a big bag, But I knew I could probably fill out a limit. So I did. I stopped. I caught, picked up a half-ounce Berkeley War Pig, and I caught 2 keepers to fill out my limit, and gave me right at 5 pounds more for the day. And without those 2 fish, like, yes, that was my smallest bag of the event, but without those 2 fish to fill out my limit, like, I don't make the final day cut. Without making the final day cut, of course, I don't win the tournament.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now those shell beds, those are fascinating to me, because Florida, that's a big deal in Florida. You got to find those shell beds. Are those fish eating or are they spawning there?
No, they're definitely there to, they're not spawning whatsoever. They're there feeding up, staging to go pre-spawn.
Okay.
Or to go spawn.
All right. So day 2, you got a full day to fish, and you put 20 pounds on the scale and made a big run up the leaderboard. What did you do day 2?
So day 2, like, I'm still practicing. Like, the first day I was still practicing, and in the beginning of the day 2, I was still practicing. So I really didn't know how great the pad deal was. And I think it actually got better through the event. But so day 2, I actually start on the shell bar, spent about 2 hours and had roughly 14 pounds. And then I make my 45-mile run south and start fishing pads, and it happened pretty quick. I got upgraded several times fairly quick, and throughout the day, I finally worked my way up to 20 pounds. And same thing day 3. Like, day 3, the reason I started on the shell bars was the weather was going to get nasty, and nasty weather in Florida is typically not good. I mean, it's actually never good, but luckily it blew out of there, and it actually was good that day. So, but back up. So I start on the shell bar, spend a little less time, about an hour and a half, and about that 14-pound range again. And I head south, and when I got there, 15 minutes, I've got about 19 pounds. And I caught several fish throughout the day. Upgraded a few times, got up to 21, and come back in. Fast forward to the last day, I know, like, the farthest I can fall is the 10th. So there's no reason for me to go and try to catch 14 pounds. I'm 5.5 pounds back. I'm going straight to the juice. And, because I'm not going to win the tournament with 14 or 15 pounds. I knew that. So I go straight south. I pick up that Zooms Linky and get to work pretty quick. I mean, I caught, 15 to 17 pounds pretty quick. Just chipped away. Around lunchtime, I had a little flurry where I caught up about 4 times in, probably 10 minutes. And then, about an hour later, I caught like a 5 1/4 and a 6-pounder, and it sealed the deal for me. Which, looking at it now, I had it won probably at 1 o'clock, but I didn't know that, and it was a lot of fun catching those 2 big ones there closer to the end.
I wanted to ask you, on day 3, did you get a camera on your boat day 3, or was that just day 4?
No, so I had a camera on day 3 as well.
Okay, what's that like? That's your first experience with a camera in the boat?
I've had them in in the opens and stuff. Last year I had a camera, and it's just, heck, it's just fishing. It's just a guy back there with a camera.
That's right. Just no, there's no secrets though. So day 4, 26.4, and you kind of came out of nowhere because the cellular service was kind of spotty down there, and so on the live show there wasn't a lot of coverage with you there. When did you really think that you had it won?
So whenever I caught that last big one, I knew I had a legitimate shot. I didn't think I had it won by any means, because it is the St. Johns River and it is Elite Series. Like, these guys aren't slouches. They catch them. And I was 5.5 pounds back. But I knew I had a legitimate shot. Like, I knew that. So when I'm running in, I leave just a little early because I knew Lake George was going to be rough, and there was a big storm coming in. It was actually tornado warnings, and so when I'm running across Lake George, I've got a iPad mounted at my console. Well, it's connected to my iCloud, so I get text messages on it as well. And I'm running across Lake George, and my iPad lights up because I got a text. And I just kind of glanced down at it. You know, I wasn't really paying attention, but when I glanced down because it caught my attention, I see a list of texts saying, congratulations, good job, proud of you. When I seen that, I was like, dude, I think I might have won this thing. So, I mean, so it's like the people that, you know, obviously I didn't go through and read them, you know, because that's against the rules, but like it caught my attention and I glanced down at it, and the people that were texting me, like they knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
So I knew at that point that I probably had won. So I get back, you know, I talked to everybody, and nobody had them. And I was just, man, I was so ready to weigh my fish and everybody else weigh their fish and make it official.
We're talking to Brian New. He is the winner of the BASS Elite Series event on the St. John River, his first ever BASS Elite Series event. There have been a number of anglers that qualified to fish the Elite Series, but then had to back away because of expenses. Certainly, you're more ready now than you were after the first event. But tell us about the challenges of securing finances for the tour. That's always a tough thing for pros.
Yeah, so like, man, this has been a lifelong dream, and you know, I've been working at it, you know, for many years, and I started out fishing BFLs as a co-angler, and I did that long enough to, you know, I made enough money there to take the next step, fish the FLW Tour as a co-angler. I made enough money there to take the next step and fish the Toyota Series as a boater. Same thing there. Made enough money to take the next step. You know, fished the Bass Opens last year. And then fortunate, you know, I've made enough money over the years and had enough set back, you know, for my ultimate goal to fish the Elite Series as a professional. And you know, so that's the steps I took. Yes, I secured some great sponsors for this year that obviously made it easier, but, you know, the whole thing is just not forcing stuff, just work hard and let things happen. Because when it's your time, it's going to happen. But just be smart with your money. And, you know, when you make, you know, I made $100,000 last week. And, dude, that's a pile of money. I mean, a pile of money. Like, I mean, that's, you know, 3 or 4 years of salary for a lot of people. And, but I'm not going out blowing that money. Like, that's, you know, because who knows? Like, I may not catch a bass the rest of the year. I may not catch a bass next year. So that's the approach I've took all along, is just saving as much as I can. And, but don't get me wrong, I do buy a lot of fishing tackle. So, you know, but no, so all my sponsors, you know, they made it a lot easier. And, one second. Yes. Sorry about that.
No problem.
But yeah, so Pulse Fish Lures come on board as my title sponsor at the very end, one day before I'm supposed to leave to go to Florida. So I'm very fortunate for that. You know,
but Brian, if I could interrupt you, tell us about them. What do they do actually? What do they actually do?
So they've got some different jig heads. They got a really unique swim bait jig head. It's man, it's a great schooling fish bait. It's a great it's great in so many different situations. Throwing it over brush piles, suspended fish. I mean, it's a year-round fish catcher, and especially like I really like it in the, you know, in the cold weather like we have right now. I've been using it for years. It's a great friend of mine, Todd Goad, is the owner of the business. And, you know, I'm very fortunate to have him on board. And, represent their products this year. But not only Pulse, Zoom. Everybody knows how unbelievable Zoom's soft plastics are. Berkeley hard baits come on board this year. They've come a long way. They make some great products, and without that War Pig, I don't make the cut. I don't win the tournament last week. Sunline, man, you want to talk about some unbelievable line. Sunline is where it's at. Abu Garcia reels, Fitzgerald rods, Greenfish tackle's been behind me for several years. AFCO, man, AFCO is where it's at. Like I've made a lot of long runs in some bad weather, but I was running 50 miles, 44 miles in the rain at the St. John's last week, 2 different days, and I was bone dry, running 65 miles an hour, and it couldn't rain any harder than it was raining, and I was bone dry when I got back. And I've never seen rain gear that would do that. They've got some awesome shorts, pants, shirts, hoodies. All the sun gear, protection products, good stuff.
Well, Brian, thanks so much for taking a little bit of time out of your drive to spend with us today and to let us know about your tournament experience. I feel like, you certainly have a new fan here. I look forward to watching you in the upcoming months as the tour evolves. And I think I'm going to put you on my fantasy team for the Classic.
Well, hopefully I don't disappoint.
I don't think you will. Thanks for being with us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Have a good one.
All right. Wardrobe for the Bass Tour Anglers podcast provided by Koppel Outfitters. Go have an adventure. Visit them online at www.koppeloutfitters.com and on social media at Koppel Outfitters.